So here we have the Cold Steel SRK and CPM-3V. CPM-3V is known to be a very tough steel. I originally bought this Cold Steel SRK. I don't know, I think it's just in it's SK5. I don't know what kind of steel this is. I can't remember. I'm going to do a review on this one as well. But I originally bought this one for self-defense in the woods because I encountered a Canadian lynx while camping. And I never felt safe enough to walk in the woods again after what happened. And then I learned that the Cold Steel makes a better version of that knife, and this is it. Some people really like that black one I just showed you. But the more I learned about steels and things like that, and watched toughness testing and everything like that, this SRK and CPM-3V was really tough. I really like the handle of this knife. I really like the blade. Feels really good. And this is almost jimping along both the top and the bottom of the spine. This is a full tang blade that goes all the way through this knife, all the way out to here somewhere. And then it's wrapped, or wrapped in this rubbery handle. And the rubbery handle is very grippy, very sticky. It does have a little swell right here in the middle. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a little thicker here than it is here. And then it gets a little thicker at the end here as well. So the handle actually feels very comfortable and very nice in your hand. Most people that ever hold one of these knives, they say it's probably one of the most comfortable knives they've ever held. And I would tend to agree. Cold Steel's been a very reputable company for a long time. The grinds on this are very sharp. There's actually a very sharp edge here too. I mean, this is so close to sharp that it's not even funny. And you can almost see that. I mean, you run a grindstone down it a couple times on either side, and you'd almost have an edge. Very thick blade stock, and it maintains its thickness all the way out to the edge. And I did cut myself on this knife when I was wiping the oil off it. It came with oil, and I was down here wiping in here. I came across the edge here and I got myself. So this, I know this thing is sharp. Maybe one of the sharpest knives I've had out of a box. Along that whole edge, that thing is sharp. So this is the Cold Steel SRK CPM-3V. If you know this knife, you know this knife, and it is a good knife. This is one of those knives where if I had to pick just a handful of knives, this would definitely be one I would grab. We have a very sharp spine, very sharp spine. Definitely throw sparks with a ferro rod. This is a survival rescue knife. That's what SRK stands for. Survival Rescue Knife. So a lot of law enforcement, a lot of military, a lot of important people carry this knife, or a version of this knife. They do make a shorter version. I think it's about 1 inch shorter. Let's get some measurements on this real quick for you guys. The blade on this is 5 3/4 cutting edge, about a 6 inch blade overall, a little bit more. And we got about a 4, very generous handle. I love this handle. About a 4 5/8 handle. So I say anything over 4 1/4 or so is really nice for a 4-finger knife. Get there, 4-finger handle, get 4 fingers on that blade. But I got bigger hands, and I can get 4 fingers on here all day long easily. It's a very popular knife, and I want to say it was $150 ish. I can't remember where I found it, but the other version is much cheaper, the black one that I showed you. This is a much higher quality steel, and therefore it carries a higher price tag. A lot of people are in love with this steel, this CPM-3V. It is really, really nice. Carruthers, Carothers knives. They have a special heat treatment they call Delta. They do to the CPM-3V, and it is extremely tough. They bend a sword in 90 degrees, like in a 90-degree angle. I mean, they take a sword and bend it. They cut through nails. They put a nail on a piece of metal, and then they take a hammer, and they'll hammer down through the nail, and then they'll look at the blade, and the blade's just fine. The nail cuts in half, the screw cuts in half, whatever they're trying to cut in half, they cut it in half, and there's no damage done to the blade. So with the proper heat treatment, CPM-3V is amazing. So that's why I picked this up, because if I'm going to carry a knife and I don't want it to break, if I'm defending my life against an animal, that's why I chose this one over the other one. Even though I don't think I could break the other one, it's just, peace of mind. And this one is a lot less likely to rust. I think it is still rustable, but the other black one that I showed you is definitely more able to be corroded, and rust. So I like the aspect of my knives not rusting. So, but if you take care of your knife and you wipe it off, you shouldn't have any issues. But for an outdoor knife, that I plan to take out, when I go for a walk, I wanted to go with this CPM-3V. And Cold Steel has a very good reputation of taking care of their customers. If you have a problem with the knife, let them know. They'll take care of you. They've been around a long time. The one thing that people do complain about all of these knives, all of the SRKs, and any knife that basically comes in with this Secure X sheath, is they complain about the sheath dulling the blade. When you pull the knife in and out of this sheath, I guess it rubs. If you're careful pulling it in and out, I don't think you'll have a problem. If you're pulling it in and out all the time, you might want to get a better sheath. But it's got a little lip right here, and I think there's one on this side. Yep, right there. So you have 2 of those, and that kind of grabs onto the handle, and it really holds the knife in there pretty secure. It's not as secure as like a custom fit Kydex, but if you're careful sliding this knife in here, you have no problems. So you can see, and they really thought about how much material to leave on this sheath right here, because you can get a nice close purchase to right where you want to be when you pull that out. You don't have to walk your hand up the blade. When you pull this blade out, you are right where you need it. So I love that this feels like jimping all the way around the blade, around the handle. So it really gives you a nice purchase. If you're to use this blade, your hand is not going to slide down this handle material at all. Let's take a really close look at this. Look at that, it's almost like a honeycomb material. Let's turn it sideways. See if we can give you some depth perception of that. Yeah, so you can see how deep that is. Very, very nice. So this is a knife you would just use and use and use and use and use, and it would just always be ready for you. It's not a knife that's so pretty that, you know, you don't want to scratch the handle. This is just a knife that you buy it to use it, you know? And I do like the sheath because it's almost got a quiet deployment. It's almost tactical. You know, it's a lot quieter than your typical Kydex sheath should be. I mean, I could probably make it even quieter. Pull it really slow. There was no noise there. Let's try that again. I mean, that's ever so quiet. I could make it even quieter too. But I don't mind the sheath. It only comes with, you know, the option here for carry on your belt. But this knife is so popular among law enforcement and just search and rescue, helicopter people, this and that. I mean, this knife might be one of the most popular knives ever sold. I don't know, but Cold Steel is amazing. They have a long history of doing really nice work. And see, this wipes off, but it does contact the sheath in kind of weird places when you look at it. Before I did this review, I wiped off the blade with my towel, and it kind of leaves that mark on both sides. I don't know that the knife touches the blade anywhere, but some people claim it does. Let's take a quick look at the box. Okay, there's gotta be something somewhere. SRK OD green grip 3V satin blade. I don't know the hardness of this blade, guys. If anybody does know that, please feel free to comment down below the Rockwell of the hardness. I'd appreciate that. And again, if you wanted to sharpen this edge, it wouldn't take much work at all, and you'd have a better self-defense knife if this was sharpened. I think the reason they don't sharpen it all the way is it's illegal in some states or areas, and then also it might weaken the tip of this knife just ever so slightly. It would cause it to be a little less strong. But it's almost, I mean, I could almost probably, look at that, I can shave my thumbnail with that. So that's what I'm saying. It is it is sharp. It's not to the point where it would cut your skin quite sharp, but you're definitely not pushing on this with your finger and pushing it through a piece of wood or something like that. You do have to be careful of that edge. So they did a very good job of keeping it just legal, you know what I mean? So definitely give them credit where credit is due on that one. So do what you want with that blade. I would call it a clip point. I think it's a flat grind. Very thick blade stock. If you take a measurement on the blade stock, I'm sure these specs are all over the internet, but I'm curious. So we've got, It's not quite a 1/4 inch. That's darn near. I mean, that's a thick chunk of metal right there. You're not breaking that unless you're trying to. Joe X YouTube channel, I'm sure he's broken one of these though. And that guy stabs these knives through cars and all sorts of stuff. He tries to break these and he torture tests them just to see how long they last and how strong they are and how much you could actually put a knife through. And he's a big fan of the 3V. I think he really likes the 3V steel because it's really tough. So look at the grind on this. This is like ground this way, so they take it on a grinding wheel that's spinning this way, or a belt, and they'll do their grinding. And then you got your satin finish going this way, and then your finish going this way. Very, very nice. And I will tell you, this knife is extremely sharp. This thing would cut paper all day long if you wanted to do a paper test on it. But guys, that is the SRK and CPM-3V by Cold Steel. I hope you enjoyed, and I will have a review coming up of the other knife as well, the black one that I showed you in this video. If this helped you in your buying decision, I appreciate your support by subscribing and liking and commenting on this video. Give us a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. I'm just kind of getting this channel off the ground, and I did purchase all these knives with my own money. And so these are honest reviews. These are not paid reviews. If I bought a knife and there's an issue with it, I am honest and I'll let you know about it. Overall though, there's nothing for me that I would change with this. The package, anything, I'm going to put it in this sheath. I'm going to carry it just like it is. I'm going to trust this knife in the wild to save my skin in the event of a wild animal approaching or attacking me. This will save me and whoever else is with me, because I will not be scared with this in my hand. This is a very, very nice length. You know, when you're talking a wilderness survival knife, you don't want a 3-inch blade. You might not get to the vitals of a bear. You know, you don't want a 2-inch blade. So you know, 4-inch or better, I think, is minimum when you're talking about a self-defense blade. You know, and this is a very generous, you know, 5 and what did we say it was? 5 and 3/4 cutting edge, 6-inch overall blade. So you could get this blade 6 inches into a bear, and that's deep enough to take them out. And this thing will cut through fur like nobody's business, guaranteed. And it's light enough, it's agile enough, it's fast enough, it's grippy enough. Even if it's raining outside and you're on a trail and this blade is dripping wet and your hands are wet, you are going to get some purchase on this handle. Very, very nicely done with these. I'd call them honeycomb, you know. But guys, again, I hope this helped you out. Hope you enjoyed this video. And again, if it did help you out, please subscribe and share this video. Thank you so much.